Hey, what's up YouTube? What's up fragrance fanatics? I'm Steven. Welcome back to my channel, EDT EDT. This is the channel where I get cool fragrances in the mail, rare, discontinued, vintage, and interesting fragrances. And this is my hobby. I find these amazing fragrances here in Japan, and I just think that people would like to see the craziness that I'm getting involved in with this stuff. And here's one that's not a vintage one. This is actually a modern day hype beast. This came out in 2008, and it actually smells very similar to a discontinued fragrance that is also a hype beast from 2016. So I cannot call this one a clone because this one came out first, but people are calling this a clone. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to open this up. I have never smelled this, and I have never smelled either version of the fragrances I've been talking about. And I'm going to open this up now, and I'm actually going to unpack it. It's brand new. I'm going to spray it and test it and tell you a little story and just give you my first impression about this fragrance. Okay. All right. Packed pretty well. It's got a lot of paper in here. So this one is a designer fragrance from a name we all know, Paco Rabanne. And I said this is a modern day hype beast because it is. It's called Ultra Red Man. And they don't sell this in Japan. I've been looking for this for a few years, actually. I cannot find it anywhere in Japan. This one doesn't come from Japan. There's no Japanese sticker on it at all. 2007, that's interesting. I thought that this was made in 2008. Look at this, alcohol of vegetable origin, 80% volume. That's kind of weird. I bet you this is one of the originals. There's the batch code on it, right? You know what? I'm going to look this up right now and see what year this came out, because if it is an original, it's going to be a little bit more painful when I open it up. All right, guys, so I looked this one up, and the batch code on it, which is 02021, I looked this up on two websites. Both websites said 2020, and the batch codes repeat every 10 years, so it could be 2010, but this got re-released, and so I believe this is from 2020. It wasn't available online or anywhere for a few years, 2018, 19, and people were looking for this, and the prices shot up to like $200 for this. Then all of a sudden, they popped up on discounters online, and all the prominent fragrance YouTubers hyped it and said, you know, that it's back. And everybody jumped on it. It was $45 online, and that's where it is now. I think it's $45. I found this for sale here in Japan online, and the seller dropped the price, and I bought it for about $35. So it's a good deal. $35. 4,500 yen, something like that, because it's a hype beast that I've never tried before, and I want to try it, and if I don't like it, I can just resell it here pretty easily. This is, I'm not going to call it a clone, I'm going to call this a smell alike. This is a smell alike to another popular fragrance called Mugler Amen Ultra Zest. And here's a picture of it, because I don't have it. This is a picture of Ultra Zest, which is a sweet orange and praline fragrance. And the prices went up so much on this because it smelled like that one, which was discontinued. So there are other Paco Rabanne, there are other fragrances in this line. And in Japan, Ultraviolet Man is very common. It's everywhere. And I've tried it. I tried a sample of it in a store, and I didn't really think much of it. But I just jumped on this because of the hype. I want to try it out. I actually have a bottle of this. This is the original. This is the original Amen. This is what it looks like. And I think this is a newer bottle. Maybe this one is a few years old. It was obviously it was sold in Japan. Here's the sticker. This is just a 50 ml. It's got the rubber bottle with the glass inside, or the rubber case with the glass bottle inside. And most of you guys know what this is. This has been out since I think the late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And these amazing flankers came out in the mid-2000s, like Pure Havan or Pure Malt or Pure Tonka, Pure Coffee, Pure whatever. And they're all pretty much gone now. There was one called Crypto Mint that you could still buy in stores here in Japan, but the price is like $100. What else is there? Ultra Zest. Those are the ones that just come to mind. I think there's only, what's available now is just this one, and there's one flanker. I forgot what it's called. Amen Supreme or Ultra Amen. I don't know what it is. I forgot. But if you guys don't know, this is a really unique fragrance in that it has a sweet, fruity scent, but it also has this chocolatey vibe and almost like a burnt, dark chocolatey vibe with some sweetness in there. So it's not something that you would wear to work. In fact, it's not really, I don't know what's really appropriate, like what place where you can really wear this one. This is one that you wear because you love the smell. And it's not off-putting, but I think people will kind of wonder around you, why would anybody have cologne that smells like burnt chocolate? And why would they wear it out in public? I don't know. But anyway, it is somewhat of a masterpiece because it's a very unique designer fragrance. And Ultra Zest is now discontinued, the flanker of this. I looked online, those are going for like 300 bucks, guys. 250, 300 bucks. And I would like to try this one out and see how it smells. So let's get to opening this one up. I'm going to spray this on, and I'm going to tell you a little story I have about a flanker of this. While this thing is drying down, I'll tell you a quick story. What is this? Don't pull it apart. Squeeze it. Yeah, it's got like a trigger mechanism. You squeeze it and it comes out. This is going to be a really unique bottle. Remember, Paco Rabanne is somewhat of a trendsetter. You know, they make very unique fragrances and unique bottles and packaging. So I really like that about this house, is that they do things differently. They get a lot of shit. A lot of critics criticize their stuff, but I admire them for doing things differently. So here's the bottle. Here's what it looks like. Paco Rabanne Ultra Red Man. There is the sprayer, and you basically squeeze it like that, and it comes out. And that's what it's like when it's full. It's not completely to the top, but close enough. All right, looks like it's going to be a fingerprint magnet. All right, so let's spray it on and see what this thing smells like. 1, 2. All right, there's a big blast. There's another blast. Okay. Oh, there's the bottom of it. Let's see if we can read that. Puig, France, Paris, Barcelona, Europa. 100 ml eau de toilette natural spray. Made in Spain. Paco Rabanne. Cool. So it's a Puig. The Puig company owns Paco Rabanne and makes their fragrances. So let's see what this is off of the initial spray, the opening. Let's see if I like this stuff. My initial thoughts are, well, it's not that strong, first of all. It doesn't punch you in the face. Yep, I do smell the red orange or the blood orange. That's right, I can smell it. The light vanilla, the blood orange, the light praline or chocolatey notes to it. I'm going to tell you off the bat, it's not anything that's really amazing unless you like this kind of a orangey, sweet vanilla type fragrance. But it is interesting, and I'm glad I have a chance to try it out right now. So I'm going to give it one more blast and let it dry down. All right. So that is like 2 or 3 shots in one spot. Let's let this dry down for a minute. Guys, I have a story to tell you. Have you ever bought and sold something and then really regretted it later? So I have a story like that. Maybe I'll turn the camera around and tell you the story. Hey guys, so this story is about a flanker of this that I used to have in a sealed box, and it's called Mugler Pure Malt, or Amen Pure Malt. So where did I find this fragrance? It was amazing. So there's a lot of, sometimes you see comments online where people talk about their best finds at Marshall's, or their best finds at Ross's or Target or whatever these stores are where you can find fragrances real cheap. And I have a story too, and my greatest find was the Mugler Pure Malt, the Amen Pure Malt. It happened around New Year's Day. I think it was New Year's Day, or maybe it was the next day, January 2nd, but it was right before the coronavirus pandemic started. So it was 2019 going into 2020. And I was in New York City. I was walking around Manhattan. I was near Times Square during the day. And I went into a Marshall's. I saw Marshall's. I went into the Marshall's. I went right to the fragrance counter. And I was looking at the rack, the fragrance rack, which was it was square shaped and it was enclosed in a case, a plastic case. So you couldn't touch or handle the boxes. It was in a case and you just had to look in and see what was there and then ask for help. And I looked in and there it was. There was a 100 ml, a full 100 ml sealed box of the original Mugler Amen Pure Malt. And by original, I mean the box had a Thierry Mugler on it, not the big box letters Mugler. Maybe I'll put a picture of that on the screen. Not like it matters, but it was reissued once and all the boxes said Mugler on them. But before that, it was that stylized Thierry Mugler, and some people say that there was a reformulation. So the original ones are the best ones, and that's what it was. It was an original one. And wouldn't you know it, it had a little orange sticker on it that said clearance sale, 34 bucks or something like that, 34 or 35 bucks. And my jaw dropped. And immediately I was looking around, where's the staff? Can someone help me? Can someone open this up, please? Like right now before anybody else walks by this thing. So I got staff, I opened it up, got that box. It was around, as you know, it was the holidays time. There was a long line of people, but the lady was nice enough to just walk me to a counter and do the checkout right there without waiting. So it was a double whammy of luck, right? I found pure malt, sealed, an original bottle from, who knows, maybe 10 years earlier, 10 or 15 years earlier. Got it. And I kept it. I brought it back to Japan where I was living. And I never opened the thing. Of course, I just knew that it would be a collector's item. And if I wanted to try it, I think I did have a 10 ml decant of it. So I didn't really need to open up the box, right? So I had it, and for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to post it online for sale. And I put a ridiculously high price tag on it. I think I put a price tag of like 150 bucks on it. And this was around 2001. And at that time, the flankers of this, they were starting to get discontinued, or there was talk starting to generate about discontinuations, and Pure Havane was going up to like 100 bucks. So the prices weren't crazy at that time. So I really didn't want to sell it. I just put it up just to kind of show it off that, hey, I have this, I live in Japan, nobody else had it. And the price was so high that I knew nobody would buy it. So I wasn't gonna lose it. It was just like, what was it, 18,000 yen, which was 150 bucks. I knew nobody was gonna buy it. But wouldn't you know it, a couple months into it, maybe it was 1 or 2 months into it, somebody sent me a message and said, hey, can I buy that? Would you take 130 bucks for this? Would you take 120? I think it was 130 bucks. Before that, one of my friends saw it online. I have a buddy who's also buying fragrances. He said, what's the deal? Why are you selling this at a ridiculously high price? And I said, I don't want to sell it. I'm just kind of putting it out there, just showing it off. And I even had a picture of the clearance tag, 35 bucks on it. I put that there in the description. So anyway, somebody offered to buy it. And I don't know why. I guess I was stupid. I said yes. And I sold it. So I sold that thing and I regret it. It took me, how long did it take me to regret it? I don't know, maybe it was like 3 or 4 months before I looked back and said, you know what? I'd rather have that than the cash. But I look back and say, at least I didn't let it go cheap. I mean, I sold it at the time for twice than what it was selling for. Because at the time it was selling for like 50, 60, maybe 70 bucks. And I sold it for like 130 bucks. So at the time, it's all right. But now it's like 200 bucks now. 200 bucks, 250, who knows? The silver lining on that story was a few months after I sold it and I felt kind of remorseful about it, I went to eBay and I was looking for them and I found one that was, it was an open box and it was just sprayed like a few times. It had like 98% left in it, 100 ml, and I bought it for like 60 bucks. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spend 60 bucks now. I'm sure it's gonna be worth much more than that later, but I gotta have a bottle of this because I like the smell from the sample. So that's my story of regret. I had a sealed box of pure malt, Amen pure malt, that I found at Marshall's on clearance for 35 bucks, my greatest find, and I sold it. It's gone, but I got a replacement. I got something. So anyway, that's the story on that. This has been drying, this Ultra Red Man, and I do smell it, but to be honest, my assessment of this, it's not anything strong. It's not filling up the room. You know, I haven't been walking around or wearing this out. This is just an initial impression after spraying it 5 or 6 minutes ago. I don't think it's anything that great. I don't think this is worth any more than just the retail price you buy it for. I wouldn't spend any more than 50 bucks on this, guys. Now, try before you buy. Just, you know, I wish I could make another video, a follow-up on this and tell you if I like it. Maybe I can come back tomorrow and tell you how I feel before I edit this video and post it up online. No, it's not anything that's great. I mean, it's not anything really to write home about. I gotta have a spray of this just to remember what it smells like. Some people cut this piece of plastic off because it's annoying to push down and spray it, but I mean, I think it's crazy just to cut this thing up. I've seen people sell just the bottle. Guys, it's not that hard. Don't cut this thing up. It's crazy. Keep it the way it is. I'm somewhat of a purist like that. And this is great. This is fantastic, this stuff. It's so different. I hope they never discontinue this, because this will always have a place for fragrance enthusiasts. But I hope they do bring the flankers or new flankers back. I think that's coming. I'd be a crime not to, right? All right, so that's it for this video, guys. I'm going to close it out like this. Thanks for watching. Here is the bottle again for Ultra Red Man from Paco Rabanne. I don't think it's anything that special. The smell, it is a nice smell. It's a sweet orange, a sweet red blood orange with praline and vanilla, but it's not anything really that strong. Maybe it's better on your skin than on my skin, but I'm probably not going to be wearing this around. I'll keep a little bit of it, and I'll probably just sell off a used bottle, probably for the same price I paid for it, about 35 bucks. So hope you liked the video. Please smash that like button, as they say. Give me a thumbs up if you like my channel, and share this video. Share my channel with anybody who's interested in interesting, rare, discontinued, or vintage fragrances. Check the video tab if you want to look at any of the other videos that I've produced in the past 5 months. This channel was new 5 or 6 months ago. So thanks a lot for your support. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming back. And I'll see you in the next video.